seconds, and then they got destroyed by Zeta Division. And EDG have actually been playing fairly slowly, playing fairly disciplined in this match so far.
And look at this.
Can they figure out how to play against this comp?
Rendezvous with his feet, close hold to the corner. It's a half clear. What a mistake to make! And Kang Wow just teleports right to safety. Trademark's going to be destroyed, but he's still watching down the flank. In fact, look at this. It's going to be a flash to try and supplement it. Contact play off of it. He hears the footsteps running around. There's a decent amount of damage, and the work has already been put into this one, but the spike dropped down.
And EDG are playing their post plants all from long. And this is actually something that they were doing a lot online. I wasn't too much of a fan about it. I think the player advantage here, it should be enough.
They're trying to spam this one with pistols, man. It's already
be
smoked off. Half on it. It should get it all the way. A big guy. That's one way to get a Red Bull clutch.
Oh. I think that round sums up everything that you're hoping for and dreading for EDG. Amazing plays from Kang, reading the play perfectly out here as well. The rendezvous, the second fight, it's all great. But their post-plan play on Haven has been, in my opinion, atrocious online.
That is really bad.
And that's what the desk was talking about. Haven has not looked amazing for EDG, but they're already looking incredible in this match so far. So the desk was saying, maybe it's something different. Maybe they have new strats cooked up. It's a bit of a worrying beginning, but that's another good start.
Okay, just running it straight down. Not going to be rewarded with this one. Forsaken Cloudburst has to dash into it, has to escape. An onslaught that's appearing right now onto the A side. No one's
cleared long.
dealed with Divide. Just been sitting in long. No one's clearing him out. And he is that extra element that they needed to supplement to try and stop that push happening.
That's PRX saving 3 Spectres going into the next round as well.
Be quite a fast map.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really pacey map. EDG actually, the way that they play Haven, they do have some slower rounds with big executes at the end, but I think PRX are going to force the issue over and over again. Wow, what a wild stat that is. PRX have a 1-4 record when facing the closing map in a series internationally. PRX, I guess, just kind of destroy people most of the time.
Yeah.
They don't need to get into these scenarios or get forced into these scenarios often. I would still consider them favored here, even running the Jet Rainer comp. But who knows? This series has made a believer out of me when it comes to Edward and his gaming.
Adjustments being made to that defensive setup as well, so you can see that they're not really putting too much into that A lobby control on the defensive side for PRX.
Yeah, shifting Benkai over there with one of his trap wires, still with the cam watching into Garage, even though Jing is playing there.
I think that's as well, just to not give away too many cues that they might have swapped up.
And this EDG attack setup looks like one of PRX's. There's the lurk play. Kang forcing the issue a bit earlier than Forsaken normally does, but still coming away with the kill.
Still holding a closer corner as well, anticipating that there's going to be that re-clear for information.
He's so aware!
And he's found Jing.
Kang is such a good player. He's just got the read on where people are going to challenge him.
Here comes the push attempt though. So much on the line here for Benkai to try and do some work, but there's a paranoia in his face, an aftershock at that. He wants to try and weave and play
Flash from heaven.
inside of this one. Flash through's got another players are down and out, surely. It's going to be dealt with. Another device up there, but timing is everything. A quick maneuver around the smoke, but that's an instantaneous trade.
Unfortunately, with Spectre in hand, Benkai just didn't have enough firepower to be able to get the spray transfer there. And Mindfreak, instead of going for a 1v4, we've seen incredible things from Mindfreak at Copenhagen and in this match, actually.
Sure.
Pulling out, though, I think it was a 1v5 on Pearl, but this is just not one that you go for with the spike already down.
Yeah, percentage play just to save it up, but...
And what an interesting dynamic this is, because EDG are playing a composition that PRX are pretty familiar with. Of course, they don't run the Jet, they run the Raze, but the rest of the comp with the Breach, with the Fade, they're familiar with how this kind of setup works, despite the fact that PRX run a slightly different version of it. And the question is how they deal with these kind of threats. And in this round, the big threat was Kang's lurk coming through mid. And you saw him take a duel against Forsaken, immediately wins it, and reads the repush from Jing, immediately reads that. If Forsaken and Jing can't shut this guy down, who can?
And so many of our questions being answered, I think, with Edward Gaming, obviously. Kang, this guy on the global stage, we knew he was a freak of nature. We knew that he was going to be playing aggressively, but bit of nuance that's been injected into his play. Whatever the short time that they've had here in their practice, I think has taught them a lot of lessons. And now you have a very, very dangerous individual.
EDG still not in the lead though, and this is a big round for them to be able to convert. The Cypher setup is still not here.
Trying to play inside their own smoke as well. The flashes pushing into the back there with the Prowler, and that's an aftershock. Jing trying to make the moves again. Did he expect this third player at the back of the site? The answer is yes.
Perfect. Just really nicely done from EDG. Oh, and Devi completely caught. With utility in his hands, Benkai simply going to run away.
Yeah, you're not getting away.
And getting chased down.
That's what I mean. Not going to be letting them get away with a rifle. And even with Benkai should be favoured there. Not quite. Prime Gaming flawless.
EDG running some of the similar executes, but it's not necessarily the execute and the utility usage that's so good on these site hits. To me, it's the way that they, I mean, that is great utility to clear out that angle, but I think it's the way that they all push up together, how tight they are to each other. When they get into a site, there's no gaps on their execute, they all support each other. That means even if Smoggy isn't getting a 3K, even if Smoggy isn't 8-1 right now, they are still getting the trades off. And PRX are going to get challenged here, unless they can get Jing in a position to duel frequently and use his dismiss. He's getting no value from the Reyna.
The same opening setup time and time again, and look at it, the aftershock. Second round in a row, Forsaken tries to evacuate, but Dash are just catching him again, over and over again.
These last couple of rounds, PRX have been made to look silly. Of course, this time not with any guns in their hand.
Rolling.
I think part of it too is that EDG have been able to avoid Benkai's setups. And I don't think that that is a deliberate, conscious effort. It doesn't feel like EDG are poking at the beginning of the round to get information on where the Cypher's playing. They've just happened to go to the right areas of the map.
They've gone for the same A lobby play.
Yeah,
almost every
A lobby
time.
or a CX.
Chichu goes for the teleport, and they just try and fight over, short and long, but
yeah,
it's nothing really that's being changed up. Like you said, no poking for the setups.
It's just default Valorant gameplay on Haven with this comp.
And that's what it comes down to, I think. When you're up against the Reyna as well, it's pure ego. It's a decision being made by PRX, I think, to say that we will be winning these fights against you.
Yeah, and I think, the game plan is clear. The last time that we watched PRX play with this Jet Reyna comp, they're trying to avoid utility and still set up Forsaken and Jing to take fights. The idea being, even with a Prowler in your face, as Reyna or Jet, you can take that fight and then dash away and not get punished. At least that's the theory. But so far, Forsaken and Jing haven't been in position to take fights when the execute comes in. And when they do take fights, they're dying anyway to Smoggy and Kanka. Jing's had a bit of a brutal one of it in the last 2 rounds, just
second round in a row.
Getting caught out by those aftershocks.
That's been perfect placement in there. No gaps.
Oh, what is that?
Smoggy is on a tear.
That was through the aim punch.
The guy is 10-1. Admittedly, a couple of his kills coming through, obviously, when PRX are ecoing, but the confidence is there. Now an operator in the hands of Forsaken. Is this the change-up they need?
Using the Trailblazers to set up on A short. And this is the first time that EDG have gone for mid-control.
That is so risky.
It really is, from both players actually, jumping onto the line.
Benka's got a difficult task ahead of him. That paranoia pushes him back. A couple of straight bullets. Now the Cam spots the positioning. He knows the amount of players that are going to be lurking and making their way now onto C site. Can the players lock it down? Swam onto the angle, a wider swing, Jing. That's going to be 2. Returns it back. The timing is everything. The Seekers, they give them exactly what they needed. They know that the last 2 players of Edward Gaming are going to be now sitting on the C site.
Howdong with his ultimate here, if they can give the spike and they swap it over. The spike now onto the Omen, who fakes the plant and can ult over to A. Chichu though, he ends up going down, Forsaken with the operator flank. Not quite expected.
Unlucky with the timing still.
And what could have been a courageous clutch attempt is actually the first round where PRX are able to anchor a site.
It's, the first time you start to see a bit of value, I think, as well out of this Reyna pick. Jing getting the only 2 kills that he's got so far on this map, but it's enough to stop the push right in his tracks, and you'll see here from the replay. Beautiful stuff.
Really nice gunplay, but actually not making use of Reyna. I mean, it wasn't like he's using the dismisses to dodge through utility and take fights he couldn't otherwise. Sure, it might give him some confidence to take those kind of duels, but that's a pretty standard anchoring position, no matter what agent he's playing. EDG with a couple of ultimates to play around with here. And Kankang pushed away from mid. That's information gained that there was a mid push, and they go into the C exec. This time, Benkai is ready and waiting. Does it make a difference?
They're already going to be using the pull to try and disjoint this one. Teleport to the back of the side. Benkai, his information is revealed right into the trap wire. You're revealed. Locked down. Mindfreak swinging through. 3 kills. And now 2 left standing. Chichu and nobody. The close corner. It's going to be the dash enabled and the blade still running forwards. And a quick little jiggle of the movement. Even in this miss on top of it, dashing right into the face of their adversaries. Another one to pile up on top when it comes to the rounds.
And there's the value that you're getting out of Benkai's setups. Benkai able to use his cage there, utility-dense composition that PRX are using.
An entire kitchen sink just being dumped into short there. Prowler is destroyed though, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Making sure that somebody's there to get rid of the utility.
And these are the kind of pauses in the round where EDG just pump the brakes and they're waiting to see if Forsaken's going to get antsy. He doesn't need to be. There's a camera behind him, he's holding a strange off angle, and Devi is able to still get information on the other side of the map, using a flash to realize that there's somebody in grass.
Prowler. Now the operator is in play. They know this one. Seas is actually latched onto. Forsaken on top of it. Haunt into the corner.
No way.
Make sure he's actually repushing right into the angle. How do you get away with it? How?
That should never work. And Forsaken goes for it, goes 1 for 1. Is that beneficial though? Benkai still has his setup over on A. Just gonna leave Jing with that Cypher utility.
Destroy the trap wire, smoke going up onto the connector. Now
left.
Spike. Start to be planted.
Spike planted.
Bit of spam.
Oh, and
Finding the exact angle.
There goes the Rolling Thunder. Now it's all down to Smoggy, because these players in mid are not going to be able to hold off the retake on their own.
This reflank is everything. Cosmic Divide is going to be splitting up. Of course, there's going to be aggression there, but genuinely matches it. Pound for pound! Bit of whiffage. Now the knives come out into play. Information going to be revealed, but the knives still once more, one after another, down to the 1v1. A right click, not enough. No knives really finding their mark, and a tap on the Spike. Mindfreak, cool, calm, and collected. Deals that final blow necessary.
What a play by Mindfreak. I think he's 18 and 5 in 1v1. Why not try and get value out of the breach hole? What are you holding it for? A post-plant setup maybe? Or maybe just trying to force PRX to play around it? But honestly, that's only going to make Forsaken and Jing more aggressive. Here comes the Nightfall.
Yeah, a lot being dumped into this one now. Even the updraft over the top. That's going to be the trap wire though. That reveals the positioning of Kankang. The counter spam is there, but again, Benkai setups are just far too clean, man.
No way.
Far too clean. Everyone revealed to him.
And with Kankang down, Jing now gets the flank off. The trademark disabled. Jing is so deep into A, and Benkai continues to taunt them.
Yeah. Camera just tagging a couple of players. Off to the back of the side. Jing, I don't know if you deserve that one, but that is the prime game of Flawless at the end of the day. And you're starting to see it. The momentum, the pistol round built into this one, they're able to snowball that advantage in this half.
Even when they play a retake setup, it's not a retake. They still stop the plant from going down because PRX play so fast and they're playing off the kill trips. Jing is smart enough to realize with the chamber down, he can go for the fast flank play. It's gorgeous stuff from PRX, and they're starting to flex their muscles a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember who they are, lean on that experience, make the right adaptations, and get big value out of the Jet Reyna here.
Fight immediately taken. That's that confidence. It's the ego in play. Devi maybe just overstepping himself though.
Yeah, not a fan of that re-peek from Devi, because Jing was so far away. Had Jing stayed to fight, that would have made more sense. But Jing is Jing at the end of the day. He's still going to be able to pick up another.
Caution to the wind. This guy, isn't it? Still going for these pushes, man. This is what you got to be careful of.
You do not want to give EDG an opportunity back in. To the round, to the half, to the map.
Star drop down. It's going to be smoke. That was actually just a pullback. Mindfreak just wants to
such an
anchor inside
aggressive
of his own
position.
smoke. Yeah, I mean,
So
he's avoided this
dangerous.
horn though, and nobody is looking towards him.
Spike down.
Amazing timing with that one. Kankang does He's grabbed the trade, the return, finds the other one. Even time for a bit of a spray in between, weaving that one in and out of the shots.
And Benkai is in a really rough spot right now.
This round, Josh, should not have been close.
No, it shouldn't at all.
30
And
seconds
PRX
left.
have made enough mistakes. And Kangkang's hit enough nice shots that it comes down to a 1v1. Benkai looking at Garage.
No way. He knows the position. Okay, okay.
That's a good clutch by Benkai. Yeah. Honestly, I thought Kangkang was going to be able to get that one.
Knew the position and
Oh.
he's just taking the sweet time of it.
Oh no, the disrespect. Oh, Benkai having a lot of fun with it.
But a critical round for them not to lose. They were in such a good lead. I think it's the showcase though that PRX, you can push them to the limits, but they are coming up with great answers. Even when Edward Gaming end up wandering into these setups, a bit of a gamble I think, but when they do jump into Benkai when he's running the Cypher, almost every single time it's managed to shut them down.
The fact is I cannot
Playing a clean game.
I only cannot kill him.
I think I caught Forsaken there saying, I just can't kill him. Forsaken 4 and 7 right now. Struggling a little bit to take the duels against Smoggy and Kangkang, but the rest of his team doing a decent job.
Manages to get dodged. There's no
but
kill to be found. That does not give Jing the escape mechanism that he was looking for.
it was the Flash Haunt combo
Yeah.
from Haodong and Nobody. EDG love using that. It's such a great combination.
Nice anti-flash position being played by Nobody. Devi is punished.
Devi was just flashing off the back of the Prowler. And both attempts at PRX of getting aggressive shut down by EDG. What a pick by Nobody!
Eventually, though, got to shut that guy down. So the trade is there for Forsaken, but the setup is being taken out. Forsaken, operator, Cloud Burst, blocks the angle. There is just ever so slightly it is there, and he just sees an elbow, but that is enough.
Forsaken was missing a lot of those op shots. But that connection gives him an opportunity back in the round. No way you're going for
One
this one.
bullet in the operator. Rolling Thunder pushes them back. Paranoia up top. Maybe they heard him. Up into heaven there. Even the aftershock. Okay. Jumping, hopping around the corner, staying safe for the time being because they know that the time pressure right now is on PRX to make the moves. You can see them jumping forward. Smoggy deals with it handedly.
And if you were following along with our little mini game, when is Haodong going to use the Rolling Thunder?
There it is.
There it is in that round to stop the 2v3 clutch that may have been coming through. So, not an enormous amount of value, but they're getting there. And there's a little stat. PRX have only won 4 retakes across this entire series, but also, like I said earlier, they're not the team that plays for them. They play for retakes the least out of all of our teams at Champions. They want to fight you aggressively and stop the spike going down. And I think a lot of the time that ends up being the better option for them. If EDG can get this final round on the board, it's still looking like a great half.
Still looking doable. And they've shown good adaptations. Angle being watched, but again, it's another approach over towards C, another heavy execute into it, a bit of spam into the smoke. PRX just holding it. Only with a shorty. Expecting maybe a player to step within his field of vision. But no, pure discipline in play, but now they have to deal with Jing. This guy looking like a final boss. AC 130 from above. Forsaken was there with the knives and updrafting, but they do deal with him in the end. And that's that 5th round for Edward Gaming.
This pistol means so much to both teams. I think the defense with this Fade Breach comp is nasty. More so when you have the Raze on board. But even so, it's going to be a tough nut for PRX to crack.
This fault line has been held for Lord knows how long. That was the timing he was waiting for. Not quite sure what it was, but already pressure being applied now. The players just swarming out onto the site, and PRX not going to be leaving any gaps in their approach. It's going to be the spike now awarded to them so they can get themselves into this post-plant scenario. Smoke going to be fading away from heaven though. That's going to be an angle for Kangkang if he chooses to take it, but
Kangkang would love an opener here. Oh, being able to pick off Jing would also be amazing.
How the hell is he alive for that long? But I guess just a raid boss at that point. Clean fundies though, clean fundies. That's the name of the game for PRX. Players ready and waiting to trade each other out.
And once more, Bren, you've got this bizarre thing occurring where PRX win the round despite the fact that EDG are able to get the opening pick. Brent, in the first 2 maps, it's absurd. EDG are up 8 first kills compared to PRX. I mean, they're +8 in terms of the first duels compared to PRX in a one-on-one series. I mean, part of that is going to be because of how one-sided Icebox was, but it really feels like EDG are controlling the early round pretty well, and then PRX's trading is allowing them actually to still recover these 4v5s.
Concealment.
And that's something that PRX have been very good at. They might be running into a stack here, though. This could start to get dangerous.
Trailblazer to try and clear. That's going to be a stun. Is there going to be anything off the back of it? The players are locked up right now, but they're still just brute forcing their way through. Jing, the absolute spearhead for his team there, fearless. As they just approach into this one, left up to just nobody.
And these kind of maps are so difficult to win. When you lose both of the pistol rounds, and the first one in such heartbreaking fashion, you just 4 of those rounds just disappear. And despite nobody's best efforts, he is going to get run down by a very hot Jing right now. Jing's had a slow start to the series, but 17 and 11 happening right now. Smoggy got off to a blinder on this map and has cooled off himself.
I'm telling you, it comes down to that Raider pick now. Comfort rolls for Jing.
Yeah.
Going for that pound-for-pound aggression, just trying to take the fight straight to them.
Yeah. And look at how Jing is just moving forwards, utilizing all the space that Forsaken makes for him too. Jing and Forsaken work as such a duo trading out for each other. It's crazy.
You're right, Josh. Not a great start, losing the pistol round in the second half. Epic Game is going to take some insane stuff, I think. Layers upon layers for their strategies, I think, to get back into this one. And they do have good weaponry with the rifles in their back pocket. But it's a contact play from PRX. Bit of disrespect being shown to the utility early on, and being given so much space. Flash, Cloudburst off to the side, even the Lear as well, making sure every angle is watched for.
But it's a different approach to the defense, right? EDG's composition much better on the retakes. And they've saved, you know, Paranoia, 2 flashes, Fault Line, still a lot of utility to be worked with. So it is an option, whereas it wasn't for PRX.
Starting to see that util now come through. Fault Line, Paranoia, dash forwards through, and the plays are being made. Nobody secures 2, but nobody has dealt with Jing. Eventually, he will go down now. And 2v2. Smoke just causing a slight sight line. The timing is so good, and a flick of the wrist from Mind Freak. Only the Spectre left down to it. The pressure, the time, it's on the shoulders of Chichu. He needs to try and get onto this spike to get that defuse online.
He's just got a smoke back. That could be the answer.
There's no time cues though. There's no time at all to work with. In fact, Opposite just saved the rifle. He knows that there's nothing to play for now, and Benkai's done his job.
And that is heartbreaking. When you get to that spot and you realize you've got to make the smart decision to escape, you feel like you're condemning your team with the 5-round deficit that EDG are now looking at. Yeah, they've got a rough buy here.
Yeah,
a bin juice buy, as Pansy would say.
Spuds, heads being ripped off one after another. You can see the attempt from Edward Gaming. They know that they have to try and fight them. But everything that they've got, spray down, a bit of a stare down.
You're popping knives!
Popping the knives, why not?
To get the ace.
Sure, confidence is there. Even a Trailblazer, they want to set him up to succeed. It's all about it, isn't it? The right click misses, Jing just takes it anyway.
Jing stole the ace!
I mean, the pause in the character model says it all.
Oh, Forsaken can't believe it.
Distraught.
That is
distraught.
I mean, listen, Brent. If I was Coach Alex right now, I might not be too happy that Forsaken's just used his knives to chase down the last player in an ace. But
I didn't even realise that happened.
But if you're watching that kind of replay,
yeah,
maybe it would become justified. Jing, what the hell, man?
Absolute ragged moment. Oh boy.
I think that shows you some of the confidence that PRX are feeling right now. They're not under anywhere near the same amount of pressure as they were on the prior 2 maps.
And this round is the backbreaker. Kang Do with an opening.
Not a very good jiggle peek by Forsaken.
No,
Kang was offered 2.
Still want to take the fight. Jumping across that angle. Jing does eventually remove Kang. This guy's been a thorn in their sides throughout this series.
Hubris.
Smoke. Even a team flash. Okay.
Yeah, things looking very sloppy here for PRX in this round.
Paranoia to push them back. Flash though supplements it. Now a dismiss, but he's right. in a line of sight once more. That reflank coming into the back, and in a critical round, vital one at that for Edward Gaming to take away and win when they invested all their money into it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's one thing to be having fun on the stage and, you know, playing for confidence. It's another to be playing sloppy and letting the enemy team back into the game. So I think for PRX here, yeah, they've got a 5-round lead, and that is well enough to play with. We've got tons of wiggle room here. But at some point, they need to tighten the screws a little bit and not allow this one to slip away. How many times have we seen a team win 4 rounds off the rip and a half, and then the opponents get a comeback? It happens all the time.
We've covered a lot of 100 Thieves, Josh. It does happen.
Nice cloud burst to stop Kankan going for the peak. That one way.
Peak is removed! Just quick scopes it. Chichu's there ready and waiting. That's the paranoia as well to help that swing out.
And I was talking about sloppiness from PRX, but I don't think that's an example of it at all. You expect Kankan to be pushed away there by the Seekers, but he just scopes back in so quickly with the tour de force.
Yeah.
And then Chichu's there to back him up.
That 1-2 punch, isn't it?
Smoggy's already burnt his dash, so got to back away. But that's good information. It should start to pull people away from C. There's 3 EDG players on the C side. And Smoggy is going to need help at some point.
Can't really just lock this down on his lonesome.
And these are rounds where you don't want to do stuff like burn the Rolling Thunder, you know? It's possible that they could just win the round with Haldong ulting, but you kind of want to save that for situations that aren't 5v3s.
I do like this angle though from Smoggy. Even that fault line to help him out. That might have been a repeat, but there was a flash to push that one back. Still, that cage. Just try and cut up one of the angles. Trailblazer goes down. Smoggy has not been dealt with. Slight reposition, a spray down through the cloud burst. Spike down on the ground, and enough players from Edward Gaming to collect that prime gaming flawless once more.
Very clean round from EDG. I think that, you know, the prior round, you could say, and they've been very creative with the defensive setups. Here's a 3-player stack over towards mid.
And I gotta say, one of the most important rounds potentially now in this map. The money investment on the side of PRX, there's a lot of ultimates that Edward Gaming are working with to try and stop this one. A jiggle pick, that is a shot through the wall.
And nobody pushing all the way up to this close
So much space being gained.
There is a cam.
Triple push, but now the Nightfall, they want to try and fight this one, but the Nightfall is not catching onto anyone. Fight still being taken, that's Mind Freak all the way into the back, and the angle is watched.
And this retake setup is not looking particularly great here. They don't know where Mind Freak is. There's players behind as well, but Forsaken's reading the game very nicely.
Yeah, they've dealt with this one. Great amounts of discipline.
EDG.
Still though, you don't want to lose your grip on this round. No one was handed to you. A slight jiggle there of the movement. Nobody has been baiting these shots impeccably. But now this late lurk that's coming through is everything from Mind Freak. He needs to get value out of this one, but he hasn't spotted it. Maybe just the cape, but he knows the players are pushing up. It's down now to Chichu.
And this one he can go for.
Flying back around, he's aware of this one. Flick to the side, not enough. The shot does not find his target. It's Mind Freak again. And now, one more round will do it for PRX.
Yeah, they move up to match point here. One away from being able to take that next step in the group stage and push EDG as the first team to lose a match at Champions. But I've only been impressed with what I've seen from this Chinese team at their first appearance globally. This round ended up getting destroyed by Mind Freak's extremely safe positioning. He was over in the same area of the map that he is now, simply waiting for the fast flank through mid.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to be doing quite a lot here, just controlling the flanks, controlling the aggression, using Benkai's cam.
This is aggressive though.
It's a double op setup here that EDG are running. And I don't think PRX have enough utility to be able to push both operators away. They've just got to hope that, you know, Kankan remains static over here on C. If Kankan starts roaming around as well as Smoggy, PRX might be in a bit of trouble.
Cam just being used to clear close, but not really expecting, I think, that the players could be there. And still, you can see this is just still leaning, and a recall of the smoke. It sets up Forsaken. That's a great angle. I think Smoggy was just obviously unaware in terms of which way he should place that crosshair placement, but now we're seeing a B hit. This hasn't been done much by PRX on our attack sides, but it could be the final blow, that killing blow that they need to take the series. Quick tap a bit. That does force out the aftershock and a bit of the utility.
And Hadong retains control over the rolling thunder.
Chichu. Everything coming down to that ankle. He fires off the shots now, but time is running low, Josh. 30 seconds in this one, and you can feel a bit of overheat, maybe a bit of pressure being applied to both of these players. The quick shot! Okay, why not? Wide swing from Jing to return fire from an opposite side of the map, but now with that Cosmic Divide split across, they know that the play is happening over towards A.
There's a rolling thunder here that should just block the plant from going down entirely.
Not going to be able to get this one off. They need to find the kills. Flash over the top. That's going to be Jing finding it, but they still need to get the spike down, and they've just about stuck it, but now they deny it. Swing from Jing. Can't get the second. Salvaging it.
Kang peeked that at the end as well, Brent.
He could have thrown it. He could have thrown it.
They denied the plant, and he goes for...
He could have thrown it.
He goes for the kill. I mean, that is just... kind of absurd, but that kill itself is bonkers too. PRX trying something different in this attack round, where they faked a push towards B, and they tried to get Forsaken lurking, the same way he does when he plays Chamber. But Forsaken got picked off, the Astral ended up being useless, and EDG able to hold on as the time ticked down low, especially with Mindfreak's lurk getting caught as well. Both lurks failing from PRX in that round.
Aggressive play from Edu Gaming down into mid, but they don't gain too much space off of it. In fact, it's nobody who's been pressured the most. Fast approach. Aggression is the name of the game, and a flash over the top. Hadong just left it like a sitting duck at the back of the side. Forsaken! Relentless with the play. The Bladestorm in his hands. This guy is a weapon of death.
And it's a 5v3 for PRX to close things out and move forwards in the group. Smoggy with Bladestorm of his own. Can he find any sort of value here? It's a brutal crossfire, breaks it with the cloud burst.
It's the one where the re-swing is there at the end of the day, and it's just down to Kang. This is it, surely. One shot found, 2 players remaining, 3 players remaining, excuse me. Drops down to the floor, and not enough, just can't quite reset the aim. The 13th round secures it and seals the deal. But he